Hi everybody, this is Dr. Heidi Albete, and I am so excited to share with you everything that I've been doing this summer in my garden. We are at 8,500 feet, that's 8,500 feet in the sky, on the top of a mountain, growing food. Look at that. You can see already that we have lots of barricades up to help all of the things here in Bailey that are a challenge for us growing food. The first thing we had to do, of course, was put in this giant fence to keep the deer out. Anything smaller, they would have jumped. Anything less sturdy, they would have pushed over. So we had to do our best and put up this huge fence. Well, that wasn't enough because last year we had the fence and no greenhouse, and we did not grow nearly as much as we grew this year. So this year we bought this awesome greenhouse on Amazon, and it has really changed our game up here. So I'm super excited to show you guys what we've done. And yeah, let's take a look at the garden. Here we go. Here we are moving along into the garden. So enter in through our giant gate that helps us right along. So the first thing that we can see here is my kids' favorite. These are pumpkins that are growing. This was totally a whim that we did and tried the pumpkins, but look at this huge guy. I keep telling him we have all the way till October to have these guys go. So hopefully they will keep going. And there's our little baby one going too. So we got two big pumpkins for my two big kids. So they're excited about that. I am a fan of permaculture. So you'll see all around that I have leaves and kind of clippings, and I just kind of throw them on the ground so that they will mulch back in to the soil. Since we're over here, let's start over here. So these little pots have come in true handy. Some of this stuff is even from last year, so it comes back every year. These are the garlic that I put in the ground. I put some in there, I put some in here. These guys don't get enough rain, and it's pretty hard for me to water all the way back here. So we'll see what happens. This was a volunteer brassica family. Not sure if that's gonna be a broccoli or cauliflower or what, but man, brassicas grow super well in the garden. So let's take a look at all the things I decided to grow this year. Again, as you can see on my floor, I just kind of mulch everything in because why not? We need everything that we can get here in Bailey, Colorado. So let's start over here. I tried to make this back area a little bit of my something perennial stuff that'll come back year after year. So you can see all the way over there is our strawberries. We had awesome strawberries in the spring, and now we have flowers coming out again for the fall. So we're excited about that. And you can see these vining guys of all of my strawberries. This one right in the middle there, that is the lavender. We're getting these. I'm super proud of. These are going to be Brussels sprouts. So many people don't know how Brussels sprouts go. So this whole big stalk has these little individual Brussels sprouts growing on them. And so hopefully again, come time for Halloween, we'll be able to harvest those. I have 4 Brussels sprout plants. So there's one, there's another. And then these guys over here, another couple. A little gardening tip is don't put the same stuff in the same place, because then bugs will just kind of eat. One bug that likes one thing usually also likes the other thing, or, kind of stays with the whole crew. So I thought I'd split up these Brussels sprouts. And so we have 2 big ones over there and 2 big guys over there. I'm also growing tons of flowers. These are all calendula. Look at these buttes. And we have a little pollinator in there right now too. Calendula is an amazing herb. We want to use it fresh usually. So this fresh calendula is good if you chew it up. It'll help your digestive tract heal. If you chew it up and put it on a wound, it will help your skin to heal. So it's a really good healer for all, and it's a great pollinator. All these bunches of flowers that you see here, that was all from one seed. And then each seed, let's look at these seed pods. So each of these flowers are going to make, like, what do you think that is? 50 seeds in there, 25 seeds in there. So super prolific. These are all volunteers from last year. That's another big calendula guy. I didn't plant any of these. They all came up from last year from being seeded. That guy in the back corner, he was over here by the pumpkin, but we ran out of space. And so now he's growing over there. That is our cucumber. We'll see how much that grows. I grew a ton of cucumbers and we'll see. This here is asparagus. Never seen asparagus like that, huh? That is the ferny type of the asparagus. It ferns out like that if you don't pick it. And the reason I didn't pick it is because it's a perennial and it's really good after about, the third or fourth year. So we're gonna let this guy go. And I do every, once in a while when I'm in here, I'll pick off a little bit of these ferns and just eat it while I'm gardening. So amazing thing about growing your own food. This guy is also a volunteer and he grows everywhere in my garden. This is medicine. That is an artemisian plant, which is like wormwood and mugwort. And so I use him all the time. He actually goes in my antimicrobial tincture. So once I harvest everything else in here, I'll be able to harvest a bunch of artemisian. And you'll see him popping up all over the place. That's a cabbage, and this little cabbage guy is getting pretty eaten from our chipmunk friends. And I actually am leaving him there for the chipmunks. So hoping that they don't eat anything else and they just kind of destroy my cabbage, which they've done a great job at. These are my pepper plants. Super excited about the pepper plants. So these are some peppers here. Got some here. Look at this. This is our first year that we've gotten peppers to grow this big. And trust me, I have been every single day coming in here and picking peppers, whether it's for dinners. I like to put them in my breakfast scrambles in the morning. Look at that beautiful stuff in there. Beautiful peppers. So super lucky. A good friend of mine gave me some starts at the beginning of the season, and holy cow. Look at these. It's like a jungle of peppers through here at 8,500 feet. Can you guys believe this? Oh, I couldn't. I just come in here. It's my happy place. Absolutely. Especially as a naturopathic doctor, one of the big things I'm always telling people is get out into nature and get your hands in the dirt and start grounding. And gosh, that's what I do when I am done with work. Seeing patients, like to revitalize in the garden. This is basil over here. So we'll make some yummy pesto out of him. We've been putting it into our salads and our stews and soups. We got another pollinator on our calendula over there. Here's another one that the chipmunks have destroyed. And here is my prized possession, this kale. Oh my goodness, I can harvest kale every day and it just keeps coming back. So I've joked, quit my day job, become a kale farmer. But you know what? I don't have to quit my day job because this kale will grow all the time during work hours and I don't have to tend to it. It's the best thing I've gotten to grow up here. Look at that. Whoa. No effects on this, you guys. That is the true color of my kale. And then hiding behind my kale, I have to hide it from the chipmunks, is some cauliflower. So when we get back from camping this weekend, I think we'll harvest that cauliflower. Here's another big kale. Again, don't plant them together. Plant them a little bit separate. Here's another giant kale. This is another volunteer from last year. Not much is happening, but I'm not gonna pick it. These are some volunteers as well. This is beautiful sage. Sage is another amazing herb that we use for women's health. Great for cooking. It's a carminative, really good for your digestive system. And if we don't use it all by the time the frost comes, I'm going to harvest these guys and roll them up into a bundle and we'll use it as sage to sage the office and to get rid of bad energies and bad spirit. These are snap peas. This one is my 5-year-old's favorite. He'll come in here and harvest these as we're gardening. So he kind of got stuck in the corner over there. We have another one back in that corner over there. And the chipmunks and mice have been helping themselves as well. So we try to pick them before they come. Now, for some reason, don't tell the mice about these, but they have not eaten all of my green beans. So again, like every day we come in here and grab green beans for our stir fries. And so we just have such a plethora. So grateful. Now, if we can sneak back in here, look at that huge zucchini. everything grows slower up here because it's cold, the elevation, and so it took a long time for my zucchini to come into full bloom. But look at this. Such an abundance. Huge zucchini there. Little guys coming in. So I'm a fan of zucchini bread. That's why I grow zucchini. So I want them to get big. That's what my grandpa, my dad used to do when we were growing up. And so look at these big guys. So again, when we get back from camping this weekend, I think we're going to do some zucchini harvest and make some zucchini bread. This is my salad. So it has been growing abundantly throughout the summer. And now I've actually put in some seeds for our fall crop and our winter crop so that we can get seeds and we can get salad all year round. So salad is another good one that you can it'll just keep on giving. And then even with these guys, I'm letting these pods go to seed so that I can get free seeds and plant them next year. These ones were super, super yummy. My kids even like to eat, and I do too, eat these little yellow flowers off of them. Super good on top of the salads. And it gets kids to eat food, eat good food. This is a squash. I'm not sure how good she'll do. I think it's a acorn squash. So we got a couple little guys there, but we'll see. I'm just trying to keep things alive. We have our volunteer. This is all mint from last year, actually from several years ago. I planted it clear across over there, and it has made its way underground and come up on this side. So this one I love to put into drinks, throw it into smoothies. It's super fragrant. Sometimes I'll just grab it and have it for my treatment table so that people can be smelling the peppermint as we're doing our work. Onyx, my 3-year-old and I, we planted last night. So all of these guys are going to be new snap peas for the fall. So don't forget about your fall harvests and your fall planting. Now is a great time to start getting those planted. Here is some of my perennials again. So these are from my grandma's house in Chicago. My mom brought them out. They will be daisies. Well, they are daisies, but next year hopefully they'll bloom. This is from my amazing aunt, Dybra, and she gave me this, 8 years ago when we first moved in, and I have moved it all around the yard. So we have some there too. This is another one of our daisies growing. This is Achillea. This is also from Chicago, my grandma's house, but it also grows here. It's just so big in Chicago, so she brought me some. This is borage. So you may have heard of borage oil. That is one thing that you can do with borage. I don't actually harvest this at all. I just leave it for the bees. So when I was doing a bunch of research my first year, actually I think it was last year, I was buying flowers for the bees and pollinating, and everything I read, I hear a bee, where's he at? Oh, look at, he's all the way under there. So everything I read said, grow borage. And so we are, and look at how much they love it. And so I like to grow pollinating plants on the outskirts of my garden, and within it, you can see all that calendula. But that way that the bees know where to go and they know how to get to my plants that I want growing for the season, because yeah, we have all these pollinators. Look at this beautiful bee. Oh, love it so much. How beautiful that was for him to get on camera with us. We got some more calendula here. Again, these are all volunteers from last year. Now, this is a funny little thing. I tried to grow a lot of things indoors to start like February. Some things didn't grow. And so I had them all in there in little pots before, like as it was cold, because remember, 8,500 feet. So we don't start getting into summer like July. And so even in June, we had to close these flaps here, a whole bunch. And so we would close them for the night and then we'd open them for the morning. And I didn't even want to put some of my plants that I had in pots into the ground yet because I was afraid that it was going to freeze. So I brought all of my plants in here before they were really much of anything, to make sure that they would survive. And they did, except for some of them. One of the ones that I didn't think was going to survive. So it is a mixture of squashes and zucchinis, and I think mostly cucumbers. But I just threw it into this pot, and then look it did start growing. So I was checking it out last night, and look we do have a couple little guys trying to come in through there. So, and here's our little bee friend again. He really wants to be on camera. How fun. But yeah, we have some little squashes. So I'm not quite sure what it'll be. But we do have them growing up everywhere. I did plant this full of garlic again, and I'm not even sure if we'll get garlic out of it, but that's okay. That's the fun of growing your own food, is that put in an abundance of things. This was another little kale, that I didn't think was going to do anything. And so I just threw him in the pot and look at him go. I haven't harvested much from him, but, yeah. And then we have, of course, every garden has to have a beautiful Echinacea purpura. So not going to use that one as medicine, going to let it get more established. This is a very well established and beautiful. Oh, look at that guy. He's not quite a pollinator. He's more of a predator. But this beautiful mullein, which is definitely a weed. Tons of medicinal value though in this mullein, and another great pollinator, so I let him go. Mullein is great. I use the leaves of it for any kind of respiratory stuff. You can make a tea out of it, good for the lungs, but he won't be harvested. I like to go into the wilderness to harvest my mullein. There's so much of it. And I don't know how these sunflower seeds got in there, but we'll see how they do. If they're gonna grow, I'll let them grow. There's another one of Aunt Di's beautiful little guys. I don't even know what they're called. They're not medicinal, but they grow up here and the deer don't eat them, so I let them grow. This is a fun little guy, so I always transplant him whenever I see him. Some would call this a weed, but I call it purslane. And purslane is extremely nutritive, so it's a great one to use in salads, and that's how I'll pick it. He's growing a lot by the cucumbers that you haven't seen yet, and whenever I see him and he's somewhere I don't want him to be, I'll take him and put him somewhere else. And he just starts growing again, and I love it so much. That looks like another volunteer, maybe a tomato plant, but probably won't get to do anything before the frost comes. And you see a lot of my stuff has holes in it. Those aren't from insects, that's actually from hail. So this pumpkin patch got devastated a few times. So what I did, get out of here, wasp. What I did was I planted the pumpkins inside, and then I let the trellis come out here. And there were a couple times when I just watched the hail completely devastate my pumpkin. But thankfully for this amazing greenhouse, it didn't devastate everything, just the pumpkin. So, and some of the mullein over there, and my poor echinacea got hurt. But you know what? I'll take it, because for this little bit that I have outside, so much else is growing. These are also from my grandma. My mom brought them down. Oh, look at that. We have another bee on there. Wow, look at how beautiful. But yeah, look at these flowering. They're not medicinal. They're rock plants is what they're called. And this is a sedum or sebum, however you want to say that. But I just let them flower and be beautiful. And I think about my grandma every time that I get to. These are also some Chicago plants that were brought over. But blazing stars are also native to Colorado. So hopefully next year they'll do pretty good, and we'll let them go. Okay, so here's my last little section. Here's some more of the purslane. This is one of the places I've been picking it from for my salads and my stir fries and that. And then here are some amazing cucumbers. I have them trellised up here, which is such a good idea to let them go vertically because I have more space vertical. And then look at those little baby cucumbers. Again, here in Colorado, especially in Bailey, we have such a late season. So we're lucky that things are even coming, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how big these guys are able to get. These are just going to be regular cucumbers. And then here in the corner here, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit because I can't get back there. Those will hopefully turn into lemon cucumbers, which are my favorite. So I planted a ton of those, and we'll see what comes back for me. You just got to plant and hope sometimes. This is my beautiful chard. Look at how red this chard is. It is just so abundant. Again, like daily I'm in here picking this, and it just keeps on raging. I was going to plant more, which I did plant more when we started, and only one plant really thrived, but it has given me the abundance that I need. So I haven't needed to plant more. And then under here, if you can see, this is machata. This one I was not familiar with. The machata, the chard, the lemon cucumber, all of those I got as free seed packets from the Bailey Library. So anybody local, go check out the library. They have a seed library, and you can bring your seeds, and they will put them into little envelopes and give them away, and then you can take other seeds. But yeah, these are beautiful. These, again, every morning I come in here, I do my Qigong, I welcome the sun, and I pick my vegetables for my morning scramble. Keep myself healthy as I'm seeing patients all day, keeping my vitality strong as I go into the week. And so, yeah, this is my naturopathic garden. This is what I have chosen to grow this year, and how well it is doing just makes me so happy. It fills my heart with joy every day. Bergamot is a volunteer from last year. Great carminative, great for digestive system, putting it in any of your, as an urban spice, in any of your meals is a great one. And then all the way down here, if you can see, again, a lot of people call this a weed, but there's some plantain growing. I also have gallium. That's gallium right there. Super sticky guy, great for the lymphatic system. Plantain is great as a healer and a soother, kind of like calendula is. So eating those together in a tea or a tincture or just your salad is so yummy and super. So thanks so much for watching my video. I'm so excited to bring this to you guys today. This is like, of, you know, all that I do. This is one of my favorite things, and definitely one of my favorite pastimes, to take care of this beautiful earth and to spread this beautiful medicine and this food. Food is medicine. And so coming in here at the end of my day is the most amazing stress reliever in the world. So I'm teaching my kids how to garden. I'm teaching my kids how to eat healthy food. And when they grow it, they eat it more likely. They're more likely to eat it. So it has been such a fun journey. I'm so grateful for this greenhouse. So grateful for these clouds that are coming to give us some amazing rain. Look at that, blue skies up there too. It's always sunny in Bailey, Colorado, until it's not and it rains, and then 5 minutes later the sun comes back out. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to show you my garden, and I hope you guys get some inspiration to get your garden started. Even if you haven't done anything this spring, it's not too late. The fall is a great time to grow your salads and your snap peas. There's some winter things that you can do pretty well. My snap peas are called snow peas. And so they grow really well throughout the winter. And so I'm really hoping that we can get a little harvest in before it gets too bitter and cold. And who knows, maybe this greenhouse will be good and I'll be able to close it up in November when it snows. And of course, dust all the heavy snow off the top of it so it doesn't collapse. But I would love to get, as much months of food out of this as I can. So I'll keep you posted and see what happens in the fall. All right, take care, everybody. Happy gardening.